Welcome to the Bob Fu Report. Today I want to chat about the China's enforced disappearance system. As we all know, especially recently, well-known world tennis champion player, her name is Peng Shuai, had caused quite international outcry because she revealed in her own Chinese social media called Weibo with over 1,900 words for the first time disclosing sexual assault allegation against a former member of the standing committee of the Politburo of the Chinese Communist Party, the former deputy premier, Mr. Zhang Gaoli. And she revealed some very graphic details about how that relationship was started when the deputy premier Zhang Gaoli basically invited her to his home and basically under some kind of coercion when she was in her just early 20s and had a forced sexual relationship. And then after a while, the deputy premier Zhang Gaoli kind of almost forgot about her, and then for several years she was not contacted until kind of quite recently. Of course, Mr. Zhang Gaoli is already retired from the Communist Party leadership post, a very powerful post. And through the arrangement of the China's official sports kind of management association, she was arranged to have another meeting with him, and again with his the deputy premier's wife's even kind of collaborating, watching even over outside the bedroom. And Mr. Zhang Gaoli again had coerced her another kind of sexual relationship. And then the deputy premier, Mr. Zhang Gaoli, kind of disappeared again. That kind of according to Miss Peng Shuai, who is 35 years old now, she could not even get a way to communicate with him anymore, and she felt a total betrayal. Then she wrote this just stunning disclosure. As we all know, especially those of us from China, the Chinese Communist Party and party leaders have a few lovers, concubines, and are very common knowledge. But for this former one of the 7 most senior leaders in the standing committee of the Communist Party's Politburo. This is the first time with such a very detailed description of this kind of coercive relationship, and with China's one of the 7 most powerful men, and managing the lot of important affairs in China. It indeed caused a tremendous attention, and her Weibo message only survived 20 minutes before the Chinese net police quickly removed it, and then shut down her own Weibo account, and then her name, and even the Chinese name of tennis, Wang Qiu, had become a censored word in the Chinese search engine. So nowhere, if you type the name of Peng Shui, would you find her name, her world champion record, is of course, any discussions about her social media message, and all other accounts were totally censored and shut down. Of course, this is happening in China, and but the message has been already, out all over the world media, and for already weeks after Peng Shui disclosed that, she was totally disappeared. And many people, of course, especially even in the world sports field, many of her playing mates, her friends, and including, of course, the World Tennis Association, WTA, and their leadership had been very vocal and publicly asking China to give a transparent and verifiable, responsible, accountable investigation about Peng Shui's sexual assault allegation, and certainly to urge China to let Peng Shui have an uncensored opportunity to speak for herself about her whereabouts, whether she has freedom or not. So that basically led to a major discussion among not only in the sports field, internationally, but also among the free world governments, including the U.S. State Department and even the White House, the UK, the Australian and French, other European Union governments. They're all through their official channels urge China to basically give a account where Peng Shui is being held or whether she has freedom. And ironically, the International Olympic Committee, their chairman, Mr. Bach, kind of was quick to defend the Chinese government, and even offered a international show by hosting a so-called video virtual meeting with Peng Shui. And guess what? On the side of Peng Shui was Chinese Communist Party's top tennis management official, Miss Li Lingwei, who was also a tennis champion in the women's game. And with Mr. Bach and several others, the IOC released a statement on a Sunday and declaring, Peng Shuai said she's fine and she has freedom, and she was quoted even gladly accepted an invitation by Chairman Bach of IOC for a dinner in January when Mr. Bach is scheduled to go to Beijing and to attend the show of Beijing Winter Olympics. Any reasonable person who knows a little bit about the nature of the Chinese Communist Party or its operation would believe that Peng Shuai is having her freedom moment, despite of the official media propaganda machine even tried to show, she was eating dinner with her friends in a restaurant, in a single room with a few friends, and they even released a video specifically put the timing, the clock of the restaurant. Who would have thought, like Peng Shuai would schedule a cameraman just to follow her and specifically point to that clock of the restaurant of that day. And several Western reporters, including the NPR reporter in Beijing, even went to that restaurant and they asked the staff, the waiters and waitresses, whether Peng Shuai was there, and the waitress could not even confirm, and they absolutely even denied the existence of a single room that can host customers to eat, like it was displayed on the official propaganda. So this is continue unfolding, and I really salute, I think, the whole world, who care about Peng Shuai, who care about the freedom in China, should have our hats off for the courageous act of the WTA, especially President Simon. I think the WTA basically would not chose to believe the propaganda version of Peng Shuai. A smiling Peng Shuai looks as if she had freedom, staged, and even with IOC's total bizarre kind of cover-up PR for the Communist Party, which is really disgusting. And WTA just recently announced they would completely pull out all the games. I think it's 8 games every year. That constitute at least more than $1 billion revenue. They declared they will pull out from Chinese market. I think this is the first time actually in the history of the People's Republic of China, at least in the past 70 years, a major international sports association would take a courageous stand like this for the protection of one of his athletes. And of course, Peng Shui is a champion, and being kind of now not seen from the public with by her own willing. That's very, very, very important development. I think this is a major thing. So if you know anybody who's working at WTA or any officials, do tell them and thank them for this bold, courageous move. Because for years, of course, including the NBA, many stars and the NBA organization, IOC, and many other international sports organizations, I mean, their eyes pretty much only focus on the money, the financial stake, interest, and the big market in China. And they have become a tool of the Chinese Communist Party for manipulation, for cover up all the oppression, all the corruption. And you remember when the Houston Rocket manager just retweet a message about his displeasure of CCP's suppression against the Chinese students in Hong Kong, and he was forced to apologize. The NBA, the leaders apologized, and he deleted that tweet. So that tweet was still not back again. So anyway, so this raises a major question about the forced disappearance or enforced disappearance, according to the legal term defined by major international covenants that oppose that. First of all, I should say that under the Communist Party system, the governing system in China, the enforced disappearance has become a common thing. Every day, you have from ordinary citizens to the very top Chinese Communist Party leaders have been subject for this kind of enforced disappearance treatment. And the Chinese government, the operation system has been always divided into kind of a parallel layer management kind of organization structure. It always have the party on the one hand, the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party system, and then corresponding with you can call it administration or under the state council or the kind of a state administration system for non-party members. And the party members are subject for under both. If you are working in the as a civil servants, so you have dual hats. So that's from the top leadership, like President Xi Jinping. So he is, in the China's constitution as the president, the head of state for the kind of the administration system. And on the other hand, he is the party secretary, general secretary of the Chinese Communist Party. Usually, even though he wears two hats, the party rank is always kind of 50% higher or have more authority than the administration system. And so from that system applies to every level of government, from the highest level in the central government the Central Committee of the Communist Party to the provincial level, city level, even township level to the village level. There's always a party secretary and administrator, like a village chief or a mayor in the city or a governor of that city. And sometimes, or most of the times, these two positions are carried by, one person, but sometimes two persons would carry them separately. What I want to say, to describe to you is within the Communist Party system, there is another kind of a super powerful commission called CCDI, the Central Commission on Disciplinary Inspection, CCDI. So Central Commission on the Disciplinary Commission is a Communist Party's organization in charge of investigation and monitoring and discipline the party members. Only the 90 plus million party members are subject to its kind of control. And under that system, there is a name called Shuanggui, SHUANG-GUI. So this Shuanggui is a Communist Party's disciplinary measure outside the regular legal system under which party members are detained and interrogated for indefinite period of time. According to the party regulation, organization regulation by the Central Commission of Party Disciplinary Inspection Commission, Committee, on the Chapter 28, Article 3. Basically, this Shuanggui is being enshrined. So under this system, any party member, from the ordinary party member to the highest rank officials, you talk about the party powerful leaders in the Standing Committee of the Politburo, including the former Chinese legal affairs czar, who is in charge of China's also military police, Mr. Zhou Yongkang, who was also one of the 7 standing committee members, serving the sexual abuser of Peng Shui, Deputy Premier Zhang Gaoli, and he himself was also Shuanggui, like basically the party committee basically lost grace and fell from grace from the President Xi Jinping, and he is now serving life in prison. But before he was formally announced, and he was disappeared under Shuanggui for many, many months. And there's no accountability. The Communist Party, the Shuanggui official, Shuanggui technically in Chinese means in a designated location, in a designated time, a suspect of the party member will have to make a confession of his wrongdoings or crimes. So it does not involve any judicial system before the Shuanggui. The court does not involve, the prosecutor does not involve, the police, investigator, the formal, law enforcement are not allowed to involve. The party that leaders in charge of the disciplinary inspection has the total power to your freedom. And your family members, they can be disappeared anytime. So in corresponding to that, the Chinese, the administrative system can also make you disappear anytime. So I just give you a few examples. Of course, we mentioned about Peng Shui. And how about a Christian lawyer, Wang Yu? In July 9th, 2015, she was kidnapped along with her husband. And when her son was about to go to Australia to study, and because she engaged human rights defense, and it takes almost 2 years before she was allowed to appear on national TV called the TV Parade, and basically to make her confession of her crime, so-called. And she was even awarded by the American Bar Association in 2016 with the International Human Rights Award. And how about lawyer Xie Yang? After he was disappeared for over 3 years under tremendous torture, and we rescued his wife and their 2 daughters to the United States. And he made his forced apology on national TV. How about some Christians, like Christian lawyer Gao Zhisheng, who was disappeared last time more than 4 years ago, August, basically 2017. And so he still has, we have no word about him, dead or alive. How about the pastor Hao Zhiwei, from the Yigangqiao Church, and he was disappeared for over 2 years already after he was arrested, and he was charged with fraud for collecting tithing and offering in his church. So there are many, many examples. So we, because of the Shuanggui time or enforced disappearance time, these pastors or Communist Party members, leaders under the name of anti-corruption, is basically selective anti-corruption targets. They always and all the time had been under tremendous torture in their tiger chair. They are not subject for any kind of accountability of the court or prosecutors. So friends and brothers and sisters, so please remember those who are still under enforced disappearance, knowing that we are praying for them. God bless all of you. Thank you for your attention this time.